devices, and there was another guy named Stubblefield who had a phone where you could just basically, he was a Kentucky coal miner, and around the turn of the 20th century, about 1903, 1906, 1907, and he, of course, went and completely developed a phone that you could stick in the ground, which is what Tesla also did later, and you could then use that as a phone, and you would just set up the vibrational patterns, and that would be how you would set up the phone numbers. And so this could be done any part of the planet, and whenever that vibration went through the Earth, your phone would ring if the phone was stuck into the Earth as a Earth antenna. And so we've had all kinds of stuff like this for over a century. And so we just have to understand that there is a vast amount of technology that is sequestered on this planet that would take care of all kinds of our energy and communication needs. There's even things that Bell developed. We talk about the light computer. There are advanced versions of the light computer that with alien technologies that IBM and other companies have had in use on these secret government projects since the 50s. So we have all kinds of doodads and gadgets that would now seem almost like science fiction that are totally pliable for us to put in commercial if they didn't think because of their nature and because of the advancement of the nature would not make a profit. So, and also would change the whole philosophy of how science is put around. I've kind of, ever since I had this Newtonian get at me when I was at the University of Buffalo when I was a freshman there, I totally have been anti-Newtonian since then. I don't consider Newton to be a great man, except for what he really was. I consider what he represents today to not be that. You know, Newton was actually a person very similar to our beliefs. He was a man who believed very, very deeply in the whole concept of the occult and all kinds of mystery schools, etc. He was a man who you would not have thought of to be this great person they've turned him into as the mighty person who is the father of modern science. So I look upon the whole process of what has happened here as, well, he was warped to create this thing, and the secrets that we've just been talking about have been put underground. If we would allow all this stuff to come forward and become public, and just even if you put it in the public domain and let any company go at it, the whole process of what we would have here very quickly would be a whole new technology. And there's even technologies with water, etc., that allow you, which also from the Syrians, that have been given to some people on this planet, that would allow people to completely solve the garbage problem on this planet, turn garbage into fertilizer, etc. We clean water, clean oceans, solve all these major problems. All this is sequestered or hidden away. We have to understand that there is technology on this planet that has been here now for decades, and some for centuries, that has been sequestered.
Most of the people know that, most of our listeners know that I've got this background with all of these, CIA types that have been giving me information, for over 20 years now. And before that, I was married to a nuclear physicist, and so believe me, I understand what the physics people put you through, because that is exactly what they put everybody through who does not cleave to the standard teaching of physics at this particular time. Anyone else is a kook, and they don't even listen to them.
Right, exactly.
And so I fully understood that. Before I go too far, I wanted to before we get too far away from what you were just talking about, I want to define the word occult, and that does not mean anything negative, bad, or whatever. A lot of people in this century use the word occult as evil, satanic. But all occult means is hidden. That's all that it means, hidden.
Exactly. Just hidden knowledge that was put under the rug, so to speak, because it did not basically go with what, quote unquote, the mainstream people who were creating the conventional wisdom of this society, or
the conventional illusion of this society.
Yeah, that's a better word to put it there, Ayla.
Yeah. And the reason that things are hidden is because the rulers of this planet knew that if all this hidden history, hidden science, hidden spirituality, hidden religions, all of this, if all of this came forward, they would no longer be in power.
Exactly.
Therefore, they had to keep it suppressed. And if anybody talked about it, they tortured them to death and burned them at the stake.
Exactly. I mean, look at Bruno.
Well, I also want to talk about those Germans that you were just briefly alluding to that had secret technology. Did they end up in the inner Earth, and did they take it with them?
Some of them took it with them. Other ones, unfortunately, wound up here in the United States, and certain other ones wound up in different secret bases which have been maintained by the dark ops governments of this planet in order to maintain this stuff as a fear factor. One of the things they've been trying to do for the last 20 years are these secret invasions to create worldwide martial law and create this massive fear that would allow them to just take over and get rid of people's rights, and et cetera, and create this massive monster that would have made Nazi Germany seem like a child's play.
And, you know, I hate to say it, but I watch our Congress right at the moment, and you can just see it on their faces. They are in glee, they are in ecstasy, because they truly believe that they've got us now, and that they're going to turn us into Nazi Germany right at the moment.
Right.
And so that, I don't believe it is going to happen.
I don't either.
What are we going to do to wake up these people in our Congress? There are at least 500 people on Capitol Hill that have the ability to transform the planet.
Right.
What can we do to make them do that?
One of the things we can do is just keep the pressure on them, do the emails and all the other stuff, and also know that there are people in our government and people around the planet that are working very hard to create a new reality, and that they're very close to having this thing actually happen. And so I consider the thing we're seeing now as just the last hurrah of what is going on, and it's going to be over very shortly. Exactly when the shortly is, I don't know, because that's secret. They don't tell me those things for obvious reasons, because of the nature of the fact that you do have this monster psychic warfare thing ringed around our planet that tries to get rid of anybody's thoughts and analyze them. So they just tell me certain things, and they make sure that the other stuff that's too security oriented with the people they're working with, they have a group of people that represent the wealthy on this planet and the powerful on this planet that want to create this new reality. And the nomenclature they like to generally throw them over is what is called our Earth allies. So there's basically two groups. There's our Earth allies, and there's these crazy dark group, and then there's the Federation and the Inner Earth people who are working to change all of this. And so there's this secret little war going on that people can't see and won't understand until it's finished, that allows for this new reality to happen. So this is where we are right now. We're in the middle of this, I call it a quiet revolution, because unlike most revolutions, it's not in the papers and on the newspapers of the air, the different stations of internet news or else regular television or cable news, whatever you want to call it. And it's there, and it won't really manifest until it happens. And so what I'm doing is keeping the energies going, bringing out the information, and allowing people to stay in hope. Let's not get into fear. Let's get into hope, and let all this stuff pass, because the reality is that we are in the midst of the edge of something, and not at the beginning of something dark. And this is something that I always maintain myself with. Whenever I get a little bit too frustrated, they will bring back the concepts and saying, look, it's all very close to happening. The Earth allies are reaching a point right now where it's going to change, so be totally positive about it. No, you can't talk too much about it, except like we've been doing the very barest of information, and know that things are going to change.
Have they ever shown you the divine constitution for God's rule upon Earth?
They've given me a little glimpse of it.
It was given to me by some of the tribal chieftains. And the tribal chieftains even put their fingerprints on it, so that when I published it on Rumor Mill News, they said, I want the people of the world to know who we are and that this is real. And evidently, these people are known to the world leaders.